This had to be like a really tough decision because, you're considering undergoing surgery,
Absolutely.
yet your voice is not getting any better. I mean, this had to weigh on you a lot.
It definitely did. Listen, for me, my voice is what I do, right? If you're an artist and you're a painter, you need your hands. This is my paintbrush.
Right.
And listen, the risks are minimal, if none, but they have to tell you the risks, right?
Hmm.
I've heard of people, goodness forbid, something goes wrong in your voice. If they have a problem, especially years ago, you hear about people and their voices were altered or what have you. So there was this little voice in my head, a little piece of me that wondered, what if something were to go wrong? What else would I do? Which is why I tried everything I could to not have the surgery. I have 3 children, goodness forbid something happened. I just, it's scary to, even with anesthesia and going under, it's just scary, the whole concept of it. But again, I started talking to some of my mentors. I remember I called you, one of my other mentors, Maria Shriver. I talked with her. And, she made me realize, listen, you have to take care of yourself. This is,
Mm.
Lord willing, a long journey. So this is a good time to just step off the treadmill, if you will. Another reason why I was a little apprehensive about this surgery, to do it the right way, I needed about 6 weeks off.
Yeah.
And, in this business, nobody just takes 6 weeks off, so it never felt like the right time. But, I finally got to the point in my career, frankly, where I said, you know what, I'm okay. My job is okay. And most importantly, my health is first.
We don't,
And you'd rather it be something small that you can fix than wait and have it be a bigger problem.
and
And I
we
think that's
talked
for
we talked
everybody.
about that. We talked about how I said to you, you can't work 6 days a week. I mean, you're working, the Monday to Friday show, then you had the Saturday show you were anchoring. I was like, Sheinelle, you got to like cool out a little bit and take care of yourself. But you finally, made the decision to have the surgery. How'd you make that decision and what did it feel like?
Once I decided to go ahead and do it, I said, you know what? I can't worry about it anymore. If I'm going to do it, then I need to attack it exactly the way so that nothing goes wrong, if you will. So increased the days I went to therapy. I actually took the doctor's orders. When they tell you after your surgery not to talk, I
Hmm.
did not talk. I even checked myself into a hotel room after the surgery. Actually, my husband helped me out because I couldn't even talk at the front desk. I had a little memo board. I didn't mess around because I was like, I'm not going to mess this up.
And we were
So I
texting.
stayed for the
You and I were
hotel.
texting. Remember, we were texting because you couldn't
Yes,
talk.
yes, yes. And in some ways, it was scary, I would say, the first 3 or 4 days because, you wonder if your voice is going to come back. But I didn't want to risk it and mess it up. The day of my surgery, hours after the anesthesia started to wear off, the surgeon came in and he said, I've talked with Dr. Deloge, and she asked me if I would just let you go. He goes, just do that. He goes, and then after that, don't do anything else. But I just want you to know that it's there and you're going to be okay. And I was crying underneath my mask, because it was emotional. And so he goes, go ahead and do it. And I went, oh. So at least I knew there was a sound. So then for 3 weeks, I just didn't talk. I really didn't. My kids, we had a memo board. I had all sorts of I used an app on my phone. I took it very seriously.